Namaste, dear friends. Namaste. Welcome to our event of the 16th of July. We have yes. Namaste, friends. Namaste. Welcome to our event today, the 16th of July, 2024. Our Viniyoga Unplugged event. And the topic is on ASTEYA. Let us begin with our invocation chanting. Namaste. Oh. शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये यस्य द्विरदवक्त्राद्याः पारिषद्याः परशतम् विघ्नान्निघ्नन्ति सतताम् विश्वक्सेनन्तमाश्रये ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे पुण्डरीकासनासीनं पाण्डुराभ्रेन्दुसन्निभाम् आखण्डबोधजनकं हयग्रीवमुपास्महे गुरुभ्यस्तद्गुरुभ्यश्च नमो वाकमधीमहे वृणीमहे च तत्राद्यौ दम्पती जगतां पति श्रीनगर्यां महापुर्यां ताम्रपर्ण्युत्तरे तटे श्रीतिन्त्रिणी मूलधाम्ने षठकोपाय मङ्गलम् नीलातुङ्गस्तनगिरितटे सुप्तमुद्बोध्य कृष्णम् पारार्थं स्वं श्रुतिशतशिरः सिद्धमध्यापयन्ति स्वोच्छिष्टायां स्रजनिगलितं या बलात्कृत्य भुङ्क्ते गोदा तस्यै नम इदमिदं भूय एवास्तु भूयः जयतु जयतु नाथो न्यायतत्त्वप्रणीताम् जयतु जयतु योगी योगगुह्यप्रवक्ता जयतु जयतु साक्षात् तत्त्वदर्शी महर्षिः जयतु जयतु भक्तेर्मूलकन्दं मुनीन्द्रः स्वाधयन्निह सर्वेषां त्रय्यन्तार्थं सुदुर्ग्रहम् स्तोत्रायामास योगीन्द्रः तं वन्दे यामुनाक्वयम् यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुक्मा व्यामोहितस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्य कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि। श्रीकृष्ण ब्रह्मतन्त्रोत्तम गुरु करुणावाप्तचक्राङ्क भाष्यम् वैराग्याचारवार्धौ वरदपदमुखे लक्ष्मणे न्यस्तभारम् श्रीवागीशात्ततुर्यं षठरिपुयतिराड् वेदचूडार्यमूर्तिम् नूत्नं श्रीरङ्गनाथं कलिरिपुमनघं ब्रह्मतन्त्रं श्रयामः। श्रीमन्नूतनरङ्गनाथ यतिराड् आप्तात्मविद्यालयम् श्रीमन्नूतनलक्ष्मणार्य यतिराट् सम्प्राप्ततुर्याश्रमम् श्रीवासेन्द्रकटाक्षसन्ततसुधा लक्ष्यात्मयोगाश्चितम् श्रीमन्नूतनवागधीशयमिनं भात्याश्रयामो गुरुम्। श्रीकृष्णवागीशयतीश्वराभ्याम् सम्प्राप्तचक्राङ्कणभाष्यसारम् श्रीनूत्नरङ्गेन्द्रयतौ समर्पितस्वम् श्रीकृष्णमार्यं गुरुवर्यमीरे विरोधे कार्तिके मासे शतताराकृतोदयम् योगाचार्यं कृष्णमार्यं गुरुवर्यमहं भजे। शिष्यकं कृष्णमार्यस्य नाथवंशप्रदीपकं कल्याणगुणरूपन्तं श्रीदेशिकं नमाम्यहम्। प्रशान्तपुरुषाकारं विनियोगप्रचारकं विशेष वैदिकं सूरिं तन्देशिकं स्मराम्यहम्। लक्ष्मीनाथसमारम्भां नाथयामुनमध्यमाम् अस्मत् आचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। So, namaste, my dear friends. Welcome back to our monthly online Sanga, and it's so wonderful to see so many of you today. Very, very pleased to see all of you today. Today we are exploring a topic called ASTEYA, which is the third of the yamas, a very important topic in the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali. And ASTEYA is defined in a very, very simple way as non-stealing, And this is very, very important to understand in a very practical way, because we have to understand that even this is part of yoga. Attitudes like yama and niyama that are presented are also practices that we have to do. And when we practice them fully, you will start to see that their impact is phenomenal. When you look at very carefully the sutra that Patanjali presents about the yama and niyama, about the Ashtanga yoga, one of the goals is to reduce the impact of negative karma and to create an impact of uh, minimal karma that we accumulate, because the less karma we accumulate, the more easy we will feel liberated. So in this context, Patanjali starts with the topic of the yama and niyamas, because some of these are very, very important to remove karma, to reduce the karma, especially the bad karma that we have inherited, what Patanjali calls as toxins. The word asteya comes from the derivation na steyam asteyam. The state of non-stealing or the practice of non-stealing, steya, literally means to steal. Asteya means non-stealing. That means anything other than stealing, the opposite of stealing, which is non-stealing. I don't know there is one perfect translation for asteya, if there is a word that exists. That's why I give you the word non-stealing, because that's precisely how Patanjali is presenting asteya, non-stealing, because the word he is using is asteya, non-stealing. So the obvious meaning of this is we don't steal things from others. But it's not just that simple. We have to understand it in a much more global manner, how to practice non-stealing, because the practice of non-stealing will change not only our past karma, but will also change our future karma. This is what I have realized with the yamas and the niyamas. I personally have started to implement a few of the yama and niyama. And I see that the moment I start to implement a few of them very seriously at different levels, things change, not necessarily uh, in the way you expect, but unexpected things happen. And it's something which seems difficult to embrace, but when you are able to see in retrospect, it looks fantastic. It's actually been very, very helpful. So this is what I feel will happen when we stop stealing, when we are practicing non-stealing. So non-stealing represents the obvious non-stealing of other people's wealth or things. Like if you steal money from somebody, that is steya. So if you don't steal, that is asteya. If you steal food from somebody, that is steya. If you don't steal food from somebody, that is asteya. So this is a very obvious topic of steya. But asteya extends to other aspects other than just material, but also includes things like relationships. Very often today we see that many people, they steal other people's friends. They talk bad about the friends, and then they want this friend to give up that friend so that they become their friend. This is one possibility. This is also not asteya, it is steya. Similarly, also relationship, people want to steal other people's boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife. That is also stealing. This also happens around the world, and this is also something that we should stop doing, because that's also a form of stealing, any kind of relationship. So This is the obvious meanings of asteya that we need to integrate. But there is so many more dimensions of asteya, and I've actually made a big list. uh, I didn't realize the list will be so big, uh, but it's good because it helps us with many examples. Uh, One of the asteya that is not necessarily that what people consider very seriously, but is actually steya, is stealing time. If you come to meetings late, if you make an appointment and do not show up on time, you are stealing time from somebody else. This is why I really get very frustrated with many of my colleagues in India, for example, where time is very flexible for them. It's actually stealing time. It's very, very disrespectful. That's why the country has not really improved on a whole. Similarly, in other cultures as well, like I think my Spanish friends will also agree, mañana, mañana, we do it tomorrow, we do it tomorrow. In a way, you are stealing time. This is theft of time. If you make an appointment with somebody, no matter whether it is a trivial appointment or a serious appointment, you have to show up on time because that person would have made other plans based on this commitment. So if you are not showing up on time, if you are not doing things on time, you are stealing time, not only from the other person, but you're also stealing time from yourself, because that time you don't have for something else and you will never get back this time. One of the things that you will never get back is time. You can get back other things like food. If you lose, you may be able to grow your food again. Money you lose, you may be able to earn money again. But time you lose, you can never get back again. So do not steal time from yourself or from other people. Another way of stealing is through what I call as envy. When we envy other people, saying, oh my God, what a beautiful body that person has, I've got such an ugly body. Or if we say, oh my God, they are so wealthy, I'm so poor. Oh, they've got such fashionable clothes, my clothes are ugly. When we start comparing and envying other people, in a way, we are stealing our self-worth. On the other hand, if we also have resources to afford good things for us, but we don't, we are stealing also our value and esteem because we are acting with an attitude of poverty when in reality we do not have to worry about that. We are stealing our little pleasures, our experiences of joy from ourselves. So it's a kind of double-edged thing. On the one hand, if you envy others, you are stealing your self-worth. If you are denying yourself, you are stealing your own value. And this, I think also, I would like to extend it to other people as well. When you have to compliment other people genuinely, but you hold back compliments, then in a way you are stealing pleasure from that person. But remember that compliment has to be a genuine compliment. It cannot be a politeness nonsense, because then you are telling a lie. Then you are telling a lie. The problem with many cultures now, especially in the Western world, is that you become too polite samskara and the samskara takes over. And you're just polite because of habit, not because you mean it. And that's why it's a lie and it's not really consistent with the yama and the niyama. So it has to be a genuine compliment. And if you hold back a genuine compliment, then you are stealing a pleasure from somebody, an appreciation or an acknowledgement of somebody that you are stealing. Another form of steya that many people engage in today is we so-called, within quotes, borrow ideas, or basically, for another word, we plagiarize, we copy ideas that belong to others. And especially we don't want to acknowledge them. We present it as our own. That is also steya. It is not asteya. We have to acknowledge the source of the person who we are copying or acknowledging. This is very, very fascinating because I see many times people go to my Instagram page or Facebook page, take my photos and share it on their own Instagram to promote their own stuff. And sometimes it's very fascinating to see my own photos in somebody else's page. And this is also steya because they've not really asked me permission, nor have they acknowledged that this is the photographer and this is what it means that you steal other people's idea or other people's intellectual property or creative properties. You have to honor them, you have to acknowledge them. Otherwise, it is there. Every time we use their idea, we need to acknowledge that. That's why I keep talking about Patanjali so much, because most of my teaching are based on Patanjali's work, because I'm in the yoga field and I have to acknowledge his work. I don't like to say Patanjali said, Patanjali said, Patanjali said, but I always honor Patanjali because I take responsibility for the teaching. Because if I teach, then I acknowledge that I understood that teaching and I accept that teaching. So I teach it as my teaching. But I acknowledge that the source is Patanjali. Most people like to just quote other people. Patanjali said that, Patanjali said that, Patanjali said that. But what are you saying then? Why should I listen to you if you Patanjali said all these things? So it's very important to take responsibility for our words. Now, another important aspect of stealing is connected to the Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upeksha that we spoke about, especially the concept of Karuna when appropriate. When we are being mean or inconsiderate to those who are in suffering, or we kind of interfere when somebody isn't happy and we are stealing their joy by making some comments or this or that, then we are interfering and we are stealing their happiness. So karuna is also a way to practice asteya. But again, as I said earlier, it has to be to the right context. Karuna to those who are in dukkha. Not kindness to just because something is convenient or it's a habit. Being noisy in a very silent space, like we have to go to a library or a meditation place or a temple where it's supposed to be, people are coming for being quiet. Or when people are quiet, we go and disturb them with our noise, with being inconsiderate, talking loudly on the telephone and things like that. Then that is also stealing their peace. You are stealing their peace, you are stealing their quietness. And sometimes it need not be quiet, it could be an experience, like sometimes we have to go to a cinema or an opera performance. This very often happens in India. We go to cinema and then some telephone rings and people start talking in the cinema so loudly uh, with their family members, sometimes even fighting and all that. And you don't know which movie to watch, the actual movie on the screen or the movie that is going in front of you with this fellow on the phone. So they are stealing your experience of watching the cinema. We can't do the same as well. We need to put the phone on silent. If somebody is having a serious talk with you, like in your therapy session, you have to listen to that person. You can't be on your phone talking to somebody else, then you're stealing their healing. So those kind of considerations are also very, very important. Another way of asteya, especially to parents, I feel, is especially parents have to remember this, is when the parents are spoiling their children by making life very easy for them. This is our era now. We are completely stealing our children of their life experience. If mother is doing the homework for the child or father is doing the homework for the child, that child will not learn. Now, when I say homework, I don't only mean school homework. It could also be life work, like parents just give whatever the child wants. Oh, you want this one? Okay. Oh, you want that one? Oh, you want here? Oh, you want to go holiday here? Oh, you want to go holiday there? Oh, you want, and the parents just give everything. That's actually stealing the child from life experience, because that child will not have such a life in the future. It's not possible. That child will not be able to afford that kind of lifestyle in its first salaries, and then they get into depression and mental health disorders. I see this now a lot in Singapore, in China, in all these Asian countries where in the previous generation they had like a one child policy and they kind of spoiled the children with everything, and the children got everything they wanted: iPad, computer, video games and this and that. And then the child becomes an adult like 18, 19, and goes to college, finishes college at 22, 23, gets a job. And in that job salary, the first job salary, it cannot live the lifestyle that its parents afforded it. And so it gets mentally depressed because the parents spoiled it. So this is what many parents are doing because they want to be nice to their children. If you are being nice to your child, you are stealing your child from its precious life experience. You have to stop spoiling your child. Stealing your child's life experience is a form of steya. If your child gets hurt, so be it. The child will learn. Our ancestors got hurt and they learned. That's why they became masters and not average mentally depressed adults. So you are responsible for your children's mental health disorders in the future if you steal their life experience by spoiling them with money, with goods, with vacation, with all the things which they cannot even afford when they become adults. So you need to stop doing that. We need to stop doing that. We need to be very serious about it, because otherwise we are stealing their life experience, their chance to learn. That's why being overly careful as parents or as teachers is stealing from the children or the students. That's why I'm not overly protective of my students. I want my students to learn. Sometimes when you get burnt with your fingers with the fire, you will learn. If you never got burnt, you will never learn that the fire is going to burn you. So it's very, very important. Do not spoil your children. Do not spoil your students by being overly kind, overly protective. That is stealing them of their future. When we do overeating, when we are consuming too much food, on one hand, it is parigraha because we are over consuming. But on the other hand, it is also steya because you are stealing health from yourself. If you undereat, you are stealing from your health. If you overeat, you are stealing from your health. If you eat inappropriately, you are stealing from your health. The same can be applicable to things like sleeping and resting. If you don't rest enough, you are stealing from yourself. If you rest too much, you become lazy, you're also stealing from your health. So resting, sleeping are important, and it should be in moderation so that you don't steal your own health. Another act of stealing which we are all doing now is stealing from the environment. Overconsumption, polluting the environment, throwing garbage in the environment. All these things are stealing because we are not only stealing from nature, but we are also stealing the chance of other beings to enjoy that nature. And I use the word very carefully, other beings. So if you throw garbage into the beautiful Himalaya mountains, not only you are stealing from other humans experiencing the beauty of Himalayas, but you're also stealing other beings like animals to experience that nature because they may want to eat that as food. The birds also want to enjoy a good sunset against the Himalayas. They want to drink the water from the lakes there. But if you throw rubbish into the lake there, garbage into the lake there, you are stealing that animal, that bird's experience of that nature. And you're also stealing from other people's experience of nature and your own, because next time you go, that crap will affect you. That garbage will affect you the next time you go. So we have to be respectful of nature and not take too much from nature, but also give back something to nature and also keep the nature very healthy. It's becoming very, very difficult now because we generate so much rubbish now in this world. So this is another form of asteya that we can practice, honoring nature, honoring the environment, keeping the environment clean, honoring the environment, taking care of our environment wherever we go. And this is very, very important as well. If nature gives you something, try to give back something to nature, because this is normal exchange that we have to do, because nature nourishes us and we are nourishing nature. It's all only a matter of time. It's a perspective. I found a very beautiful poster some time ago where it says that when the bird is alive, it eats the ants. When the bird dies, the ants eat the bird. It's just a question of time. The same way, when we are alive, we are consuming nature. When we die, nature will consume us. So we need to nourish each other so that both remain healthy. Another way to practice asteya, this is absolutely something that came to my mind when I was meditating on this topic, is the very word yoga, atha, be present. Because if you are in your past, you are not enjoying the present. You are stealing yourself from the gift of the present. And remember, in English language at least, the word present is also a gift. If you are living in the future, you are stealing yourself of the present moment. And we are all human beings. We are all so bloody stupid because we love to live in the past. Oh, I'm a trauma victim. I'm a trauma victim. I'm a trauma victim. I'm a trauma victim. That's bloody 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years ago. You are in the present moment. Or, oh, I'm afraid what will happen in the future. I'm afraid if I have enough money. I'm afraid if I have enough wealth. I'm afraid if somebody will like me. I'm afraid if I will fail. That's in the future. That's stealing ourselves from the gift of the present moment. The gift of the present moment. So being in this present moment is a form of asteya. People are separating from a relationship. Don't stay with your past dude or girl. Be in the present moment. Or don't worry about which person will be in the future. That's not yet happened. Be in the present moment. When we have a nice meal now, enjoy that meal now. Don't worry about what will be the next meal. That's not yet happened. You focus on your present meal now. And it doesn't have to be good or bad, just be present. And it's very interesting because in the last weeks when I was in New Zealand, I was going through up and down. I was facing some emotional ups and emotional downs. And one of my friends asked me, how are you feeling? And I told him, I feel alive. Because both up and down, I feel, makes me feel alive. If I was numb, I would not feel up or down. So it should not bother whether it's up or down at the present moment. That we are in the present moment is more important than whether we are in up or whether we are down. The important thing is that we are present. If we are not present, we are stealing ourselves from the gift of this present experience, which will not come back because 1 second later, the present has become past and we cannot rewind the tape. We cannot rewind the tape of life. Impossible. Nor can we fast forward. I can't live in the future. I can only live in this moment. I have to appreciate and acknowledge the present moment. That's all we have to do. That is practice of asteya. That is the practice of asteya as well, to be in the present moment. Another way I want to share of practicing asteya is experiences. Be open to new experiences. If you only live what you know, then you are stealing yourself from so many other possibilities. Step outside your comfort zone. Go to new places. Meet new people. That's why I love to travel, because it's a way of stepping outside my comfort zone. I try to visit one new place every year that I've never been there before because I want to see something new. I don't want to steal myself from that place, which is only familiar. Sometimes familiarity is good. I don't want to let fear inhibit me from new experiences. That's why I talk to strangers, and I let strangers talk to me. I don't only talk to those who I know and who I like and who I am comfortable with. Actually, I am more interested in those I'm not comfortable with because that is more exciting for me because I can feel alive. So don't steal yourself from experiences that are new just because you want to be in your comfort bubble. That's stealing yourself from life. So step out of that zone. That is another way to practice asteya, because then you don't steal yourself from the possibilities you have. If you fail, so what? If you fail, so what? And in this context, also, don't try to imitate or copy other people. We talked about copying ideas, right? So don't copy other people's life. Oh, they are living like that, so I should live like that. Oh, they are wearing black, so I will wear black. I go to Japan, everybody wear black, gray, brown, or dark blue. I go to Wellington, everybody wear black, gray, or dark blue. I go to Frankfurt, everybody wear black, gray, or dark blue. It's like nobody's got bloody individuality, because everybody wants to copy the fashion of the others. And now it's with the fast fashion, it's becoming even more crazy, because they make in millions and they want to sell everything to everybody. So everybody looks the same with the same t-shirt. Everybody looks the same with the same t-shirt. It's just fascinating. Clothes are same, ideas are same, cars are same, the same similar photos on Instagram. If one person takes a picture of the sunset one in one moment, everybody want to take the same photo and put it on their Instagram profile. It's just boring. There's no diversity. You're stealing your individual swabhava. You are stealing your individual swabhava by being like other people. Don't look to be like other people, look to be yourself. Be who you are, enjoy who you are. The last form of steya I want to present, it's a little bit tricky, because there are two dimensions to this I want to share. In the Bhagavad Gita, it says, if you are learning some wisdom, but not sharing that wisdom, that's a form of stealing. So teaching is a form of asteya. However, you have to teach what you have permission to teach. Like, I have learned yoga with my teachers. I have got the permission to teach yoga from my teachers, and therefore I teach yoga. I cannot teach other people about stock market. I don't have permission to teach about that, because not only am I an expert, but I also have not got the right permissions from the experts to teach. And just because somebody teaches you something, it doesn't mean that you have the right to teach that to somebody else. And this is especially true in the spiritual domain. A mantra that is taught to you is a mantra that is for you. You do not have the right to teach that mantra to others, because adhyayanam and adhyapanam are two different things. You need different sets of permission for doing the mantra as your part of your practice. You have one set of permission. So you may be given permission to practice, but you also should be careful not to teach that until you get permission to teach that. So it's very important, because many people attend one weekend and next weekend they are already teaching that. It's like vomiting what they have learned. That's not consistent with asteya. It is a form of steya. So this is a very important thing. Teaching is a form of asteya. Teach what you have learned by taking the permissions required to teach what you can teach. It's very, very important. Spiritual permission. So when you look at all of this, We are all finally made of energy. So when you practice steya, one form or the other, you will see that you are stealing ultimately energy, prana, either from yourself or from others or from this universe. When you practice asteya, you are not stealing energy, you are just sharing energy, you are exchanging energy. This is very, very important because ultimately everything comes down to energy, prana. So, this, my dear friends, is the ways to practice asteya. And of course, when what Patanjali is saying is that when you practice asteya, sarva ratna upasthanam, all the jewels will come near you, will arrive to you. Now, again, you must not take these literally jewels as literal jewels like gold and silver. Jewels here means what is precious and what is valuable. So all auspicious things that will come, things like health, things like wisdom, things like friendships, things like relationships, all those are the really valuable things. Money is not the only valuable thing, it's only partially valuable. It's part of the problem today. Many people chase money as if that is the real wealth. Money is not the real wealth. It's just a medium for achieving some things. It's not real wealth. All the real wealth are things like blessings of the divine, the grace of the divine, friendships, education, wisdom, good health, good values, good character, and therefore good karma. Your karma will change. Our karma will change when we practice the yama and the niyamas. So please meditate on all that has been shared, and if you have any thoughts, you are welcome to comment. I do see a question that comes some time ago, but I have a feeling I've already answered it uh, in a long way. So reflect about asteya and start practicing asteya in the ways that is possible for you, and don't judge yourself too harshly. You're allowed to make mistakes. All of us, we are allowed to make mistakes because we are not perfect beings. But start to create a new samskara of the asteya, and you see, let the changes unfold. Let the changes unfold. Don't control your life. Let the changes happen. So this, my dear friends, is the topic of asteya. A few thoughts. I'm very happy to share with this. Uh, so one question has come, can you talk about the non-oversharing from last session? Yeah, if you're oversharing something, you are stealing other people's time, other people's energy. So you need to know how to share in a limited manner and in a useful manner. Because also in a context of a metaphor, you can share only what you can pour into a container, what that container can hold. So if a person can only hear you for half an hour's worth of attention, if you share so much that you talk to them for 1 hour, you're basically exhausting them because they cannot listen for that long. They cannot focus for that long. So you're stealing their energy, you're stealing their time, and that is part of the problem. Some more comments have come about this question on yoga practice. Like when you're practicing asanas, if you force yourself in asana one day, you are stealing the capacity from doing asanas in a pain-free manner in the next day. If you push your breath too hard, just because you want your breath to be like 12 seconds or 14 seconds long because somebody else is that doing that long, then you are stealing from your own capacity the next day. If your mantra japa, you can only do like 24 rounds of it today because that's what your mind is capable of. If you do 108 times, because somebody said if you do 108 times you will find liberation, you are going to cause mental disturbances, which means you are stealing from your health, you're stealing from your peace. And so there are so many ways in which you can steal. You can steal by overdoing yoga practices. You can steal from underdoing yoga practices. If you practice less than you can, in a way, you're stealing from your rightful experience and rightful capacity. Somebody has asked if we purchase more dresses or other things, is it asteya? We will come to that topic in aparigraha as well. Uh, if you are, yeah, but it can also be part of asteya because in a certain way, you are somehow stealing yourself from uh, from from enjoying what you have. But again, it's more related with aparigraha. We will talk about it in the future, perhaps in September. So let's end with a chant, my dear friends, and then we will end our talk for this month. So happy to see you all. Thank you for coming on this topic. I hope it's useful. Let's end with a chant. Om तच्चयोरावृणीमहे गातं यज्ञाय गाता यज्ञपतये दैवे स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वञ्जिघातु भेषजम् शन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे चतुष्पदे ॐ शान्त शान्त शान्तिः Namaste, friends. Namaste.